All right.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a Thursday night edition of Iowa Pagan News on the Prayland Radio Network. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Christy Mann, and
You guys.
our special guest tonight, Christopher from Bone Poets Orchestra, otherwise known as Gaia Consort, back in the day. And we're going to be spending some time talking with Chris and getting to know what they're doing, and getting the history behind the group. And we're even going to be playing a video tonight that they recently released, which is a fantastic song. I've been listening to it multiple times. I love it. So, Chris, thank you for taking time out to join us tonight.
Hello. Glad to be here.
Okay, now we're kind of getting a backstory on when did Gaia Consort first form?
I was playing mostly solo shows as Christopher Bingham in the mid '90s, all the way from the '80s and from the early '80s into the mid '90s. And we actually decided to. My wife Sue started singing with me because she's a wonderful harmony singer, and we had some interesting experiences and we got booked into Nude Stock in 1997. And Nude Stock is this big nudist event here in a town called Issaquah out on Tiger Mountain, and it's about 800 naked sunbathers and people playing music, and
Good times.
it's a blast. And so we decided to change the name of the band or to name the band and start calling us Gaia Consort there. And it was a lot of fun, and I had written some stuff, and the people liked it. People got on their feet when we played it, so we went with it. And so 1997 we started as Gaia Consort, Sue and I, and it's been the wild ride that it's been ever since. So.
Mm-hmm.
Cool deal. Well, that sounds like one my kind of event.
Most of the
Girl, you too?
most of the pagan world, yeah. We also were. I think it was '97. Around the same time, we were also briefly part of a Church of All Worlds nest in Seattle, and made some really good friends there. And a lot of people who have really stuck with us the whole time since.
Would that by chance be the ATC?
No, ATC. That's Pete. Well, he's gone now, I guess, Pete. But no, that was the Aquarian Tabernacle Church. They were out. No, this was a Church of All Worlds nest. If you remember.
Okay.
Green Egg magazine. I don't know if you guys remember.
Oh, yep.
And now he's Oberon Zell, Oberon and Morning Glory.
Yep. I know old Oberon.
yeah, he gets around a little.
Yeah, he does.
And but yeah, so we had a group, and we didn't really jive with the whole ritual thing as much as I wanted to get people to focus on the turning of the wheel and the basically the seasons, and find ways to celebrate them. Ritual on that level felt really dull for me. I just never connected with it. And I'll say that, and at the same time, I'll go to a concert or put on a concert, and concerts are very ritualistic things.
Oh yeah.
So, but concerts are that's where I live. So.
Oh yeah.
But so we started calling ourselves Gaia Consort, and people got more excited about it, and people really kind of understood what we were going for. So
Mhm.
we dove into that, and I wrote a bunch of music around it.
I was gonna say, as I was saying before, I have watched a lot of the videos that are on YouTube, and basically you listen to pretty much pretty much everything that I was able to. The music is fantastic, and the uh, the energy that comes from the group is uh, unique in itself, and I think that's when you're out doing concerts, especially at festivals, and that's I mean that's what really makes a festival uh, something special for everybody.
Yeah, we love the concerts. That's and we've been really fortunate in being able to uh, self promote mostly about 250 shows in the last 20 years. Um,
Hmm.
and so yeah, it's been an interesting ride and with a lot of peak moments, and I've been extremely lucky. And you just roll.
I just popped the link for bonepoets.com into the comments here.
Great,
Do
great.
you want to
Thank
talk to
you.
us about the transition from Gaia Consort to
Yeah,
Bone
sure.
Poets Orchestra? What an amazing name!
I'm really glad you like the name. I wish the rest of the world liked the name and glommed onto it, and I think people do like it when they hear it. And they don't have there's no negative connotations with it. Which there was a
No, there isn't.
little bit of negative connotation with the Gaia consort thing, a little bit of eye rolling. But but yeah, that we it was basically a marketing ploy that has proved to be mostly a colossal mistake. um, Mostly because it just takes money. It's like any business. It takes
Oh
money
yeah.
to get the name out, and it takes really humping it. And in 1997 through about 2006 or seven, we really hit the zeitgeist. There was a real coming together in the pagan world, and uh, it's hard to say whether it was just a moving on of the zeitgeist to something else, or whether it was just a financial crash. But 2000 December 2007 into 2008 was like the bottom of the barrel dropped out, and so we were looking for ways to keep us going, um, and changing the name seemed like a good idea at the time. uh,
Oh, I can
so
understand that.
So that's
Uh,
why with the pagan stuff. I'm playing Gaia Consort again because the pagans will get it, and
Hmm.
and people can move over to Bone Poets, um, and Bone Poets is less pagany. It's less specific. Um,
Well, to me, if I think the painting community would catch on to that name really quick, especially since how they already know of Gaia Consort, and basically they know it's the same music, it's pretty much the same music and um, the same people. So
yeah.
you would think
Well,
that they would catch on.
I think I would hope so. That's the hope. I mean, and it's we were really fortunate in that it's not we're not what you would call an organic band, or what I would call an organic band.
Hmm.
It wasn't a bunch of high schoolers getting together in a garage and starting a band and learning our stuff and kind of becoming family. It really
Right.
did work. I went to school to learn music. The people that I play with are well schooled. A lot of them,
Hmm.
a lot of them have degrees in music. All of them are pros, and so we basically I was kind of working on the Steely Dan model in the studio, where I want even Sue will say, if her voice is not the right voice for the part, I'm not going to use her voice. I'm going to find a voice within the community of professional musicians who can come in and lay it down and do it right. Um, and so it started out like that with uh, at Audiologic Studios, where we did most of our recording.
Mm-hmm.
We hired Jay, the owner, to play keys on it because that kind of came with it, and he's an incredible keyboardist. And then we hired Dan Moeller on bass and our wonderful Dan Ochapinti on drums, and we had, these guys are world class players. They're at a level of, they could work on the same song and stand up with pretty much anybody playing in Steely Dan, right? And that was the level that we wanted to get to from a perspective of craft. So, when we put out an album, it was, it stands up musically. It's not, at least production wise, I'm the least accomplished of any of the players in the band. And I've just been really lucky. And so after 20 years of doing it, you roll with people that you've worked with, and we got a relationship together where there's a lot of mind melding going on at this point when we do get together. But it's still a thing where I bring them a song and say, this is what I'd like to get out of it. How can you help me get there? And they put the magic in as we go. And, and with the string players, I'll bring in the notation for the strings. I'm really proud of my string work. And the players that we have are really wonderful players too. So it's a mix of my initial vision, but Lorena McKinnett would use the phrase idling Porsches.
Mm-hmm.
She brought in were idling Porsches that were playing the music that she would write, which is lovely and beautiful. But the players that she brought in could make it scream, and she had to rein them in a little bit, and so working with that analogy, I try not to let myself get in the way of what the players bring to it. These guys are they're so good, and they know me and my music and what I've been trying to get, and I'll when I want to try to make a little bit of a change in something from something I've heard or a different direction, they've got the chops to go there. And so that was the basis of the musical part of what we did. And I've, over 20 plus years, I've just learned so much from them, so much more than anything I learned in school.
Right. Well, I was just thinking, you would think that regular venues would also catch on to the Bone Poets, and I would think that they'd be able to relate to the Bone Poet side of it.
That's kind of the hope. We had a really interesting when I was doing my solo thing, I was starting to get a tiny little bit of name in Seattle. I played this room in Seattle and talked with the owner, and I'd had a couple of really good Tuesday nights where we had 50 or 60 people come in, because everything is based on getting butts in seats, no matter what, right? Mm-hmm. And I said, so what would it take for me to get a Saturday night? And this was a club in town that did a whole wide variety of music, wide variety of music, and he said, you could get 300 people, 300 of your audience is in this room, and I wouldn't sell enough beer to stay in business. Right? That's just the reality of it. So, they would bring in the dance bands and for Friday and Saturday nights, and they'd make their nut, and then they'd bring in the artists that they wanted to listen to for concerts for the rest of the week. So he loved my music. He liked what I did. I brought in some people. I brought in enough people to not make it be a complete, fail. But it wouldn't have done a Saturday night. So that reoriented me toward what I wanted to do. And so we went to house concerts. And we started out saying if we get 11 people in the living room and they're actually listening to the show, then we're doing what we want to do. They're actually hearing it. 11 people that actually hear what we do will, will make it, will make it happen. And it turned out that avoiding the clubs, it's a long way around of saying we started building audience with house concerts, and we got to the point after 6 months of house concerts that we needed to get into larger rooms because you can't fit 100 people into most living rooms.
Right.
And so then we started renting community halls, and at the same time I had done the Adopt a Song thing to raise money for the records that I did as a solo artist. And so we did the Adopt a Song thing to raise money for Gaia Circles, and then we released Gaia Circles, and the music, then it starts to work for you. And when people were still still using silver discs, you could put out a record and it would really do something, you know. So
Right.
we had a bit of success that way, and found that the clubs they didn't know what to do with us. They never know what to do with us. And we played one club as a favor to a band opening up, and the club had never heard of us, and we brought 120 people into the room, and they didn't even bother to collect the cover charge. It's a $7 cover.
Oh,
And we had been doing $20 and $25 seats at Mohi and filling it up with 350 people, right? And doing all the ticketing ourselves. And it was kind of like, what? You know, what? You know, the band that was the headliner band had like 50 people show up. We were doing them a favor, and they knew it and we knew it. And it was a good idea for us to put our toes in the water to see what would happen with clubs.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was not such a successful thing. So we kind of, not under the radar, but under the music business radar.
Right.
And we had some success that way for a while, but the music business was never gonna. We weren't selling beer.
Right. My friend Ed here would like to know if you found it difficult at times to compete with the current influx of cover or tribute bands.
We never really were competing with those guys in the first place because of the club thing, right?
Right.
If we were trying to do clubs, yeah, it would be that'd be a rough road, because, you know, people if they come to listen to the music, they come to hear music that they've heard.
Right.
So, you know, we could, you know, one of my side dreams is to do a Steely Dan tribute band, you know, or just to be able to play at that level, you know, and all of these players that are playing with us, we could do that tomorrow. We could, you know, I'd be sweating bullets every, you know, half the songs, you know, with Steely Dan, but, you know, the folks that we're playing with, it wouldn't be outside of that at all, you know. But there's only so many seconds. I've only got so many seconds left to live, and so that's just a thing. But yeah, no, we didn't do well in the mainstream industry because we never got into the mainstream industry.
Right. Oh, let's see. With the name Bone, I'm just trying to think here that with the name Bone Poet, do I think mainstream would catch on to it? Just doing this, trying to do the same thing that Suavidea has done. From they're still widely known in the pagan community, but they're also known by mainstream as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's, you know, it's nice work if you can get it. You know, I mean, age has become a problem at this point. You know,
Right.
I'm 61. You know, most of the people in the band are over 50, and we're not going to do any. We're not going to couch camp anywhere at this point in our lives and survive. You know, if we were 20 years old doing the bus and the couch camping thing, and doing the barnstorming thing where you make a triangle and you play one club 50 miles away one weekend and another 50 miles away another weekend, and at home on the third leg of that, and you just keep repeating that until you build audience, and then you start expanding the triangles. That's the model for that. Yeah, that works when you're 20, maybe. But you know, one of the festivals that we were playing would pay us $1,000 to come and play, and we'd spend 2,500 total getting to the venue and playing the show. So it was my annual $1,500 contribution to the festival, and that's not a. It's a joy. There's nothing like playing in front of crowds like that.
Oh yeah.
When you get 1,000 people, dancing in front of you, you're doing something right.
That's
And
true.
but it's not sustainable if you're dropping $1,500 every time you play.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part about it, I guess. Um, now let's see, I was going to ask you there. Now, um, which one was I looking at earlier here? Um, I believe was it. I want to say was it Infinity? Uh, no, there was a video I was listening to earlier. Um, it was a studio rehearsal, and did you ever collaborate with Betsy Tenney?
She's my sister-in-law.
Gotcha. Okay,
Oh
that's the
yes.
reason.
She was the
That's
cellist. She was the cellist in the band until about 2010.
okay. That's where I had. Okay, I thought that was her, but I wasn't sure on that. So, 'cause usually I can recognize Betsy's playing pretty much anywhere.
Hmm.
All right, let's see now. We got another question here. Um, yeah, basically he said that if I play to one or 1,000, I've touched one person with my music and succeeded. Um, do you get the same feeling?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's all about everything is about connection, and even someone like Amanda Palmer, when she was peaking out, she was still saying it still feels like one person at a time,
Hmm.
right? You connect with individuals, and it has to happen on that level. But you know it's also a shit ton of fun to get 1,000 people dancing in front of you as well. So
Oh yeah,
it's like, and if you can't do the thing where you're connecting with a couple of people, you're not going to connect with 1,000 people either.
that's true.
So, um, so uh, I walk this line where I never want to be that guy at the party that sits down with the guitar and is always playing, in a corner somewhere. That's just rude. um,
Yeah.
so,
Want to be the one sitting there having a conversation with somebody and finding out what their favorite song is and can you play it and making that
yeah, that's a nice
personal connection.
we do that. We do, if someone comes to a house concert, we'll do that. Or I just played a memorial where we kind of did that, and so um, you have to be able to connect with people on all those levels.
Hmm.
Otherwise,
Now,
you're not doing it.
now, have you ever gotten together with the group Chronolist up there in Seattle?
Oh yeah, Doug is a good friend. Um, I don't. We might have split a show or two. Uh, they live in Sultan. My brother-in-law, Jim, Sue's brother Jim, he owns a bookstore there called Kiss the Sky Books. It's in the Skycomish Valley, and it also plays on that Jimi Hendrix line. Excuse me while I kiss the sky. Um, and we sometimes go out there, and I think we've split bills at the bookstore with Chronolus, and and we have them. They come over for dinner and tub every once in a while. So yeah, I know Doug really well.
Cool. As I say, have you been able to over the years collaborate with any other of the musicians or bands in the Dream community?
Well, do you mean when you say collaborate? Do you mean get together and write songs or jam or?
Yeah,
You
jam
know,
together or uh,
I've jammed with a couple of people, but we're not a jam band. Um,
right.
I mean, these guys, we can there's a lot of the people in our band that can jam, including me. But uh, the, there's not that much. There hasn't been a whole lot of time. I jammed a fair amount with my friend Craig Olson for a while. We were doing similar circuits, and we would get together at around the campfire or something, or after the shows, and do some stuff. And they've got some moments there with playing, but that's reverting to let's do some Crosby, Stills, Nash together or something, or that kind of thing. And
Hmm.
um, but it's not um, good luck if you've got that kind of time. um, you know we'd go to a festival, and I've got 7 other people to coordinate,
Hmm.
and to make sure they've got the hotel room, and the gear's good and everything's happening. And then they're pros, so it's like we do a show in Tacoma one early afternoon, and wow, it's an early afternoon show. Maybe I can, maybe in my other bands I can book a Saturday night, so I can go down to Tacoma and play from 4 to 5, and then hit my Seattle gig at 9 o'clock. So they're let's get in, let's do the show, and let's get out. And it's
Right.
kind of that way. When they bring you into a festival, sometimes you have time. If you're flying into something like Heartland Pagan Festival,
Hmm.
um, you don't have much. You're not going to hit the restaurant or the bar afterward. And the plane isn't until tomorrow afternoon, so then you've got some time. But if you're driving, you got to hit the road. It's just not it's not
Yeah.
it's not that easy. And I work from a writer's perspective. I write the stuff and bring it to the band, and pay them to play it, and raise the money to pay them to play it. And uh, we might get together as friends. Certainly, a few of us. Jay lives. Our keyboard player lives up in Maryland, or Marysville, which is 15 or 20 minutes up the road
Hmm.
here from Snohomish, and we'll get together and have dinner, and we're good friends. You evolve after a while. 20 years of playing
Oh
together,
yeah.
you get
Right.
some, you get some good things going on. But we're not all beer buddies that formed a band. We're a band that sometimes have beers.
Right. Right.
So it works like that. It's not a family band. I
Right.
when I'm composing and I'm looking at the player that I'm going to get involved in it, I'm looking them as a kind of sculpture of sound. So I know what our bassist is going to do on several levels. And even if Dan wasn't the right player for the song, which 11 albums later, he's always been the best player for the song. But if he wasn't, if this world class bassist wasn't right for that song, I would find a bassist that was right for the song. Um, and the only thing I can't do is farm out lead vocals, because otherwise I'm out of a job. So
Right.
I'm not. There are plenty better singers than I am that I would love to have, sing over the top of our rhythm tracks, but that doesn't feed me. So
Right. Now, when you're writing your music, do you feel is a bit of what would you feel is a bit of good advice to someone who is also a singer songwriter or musicians who write and compose their music?
uh, read everything, listen to everything,
Hmm.
uh, write 100 shit songs, before you start trying to do stuff with it. you'll know when the stuff you've got is good after you've written 100 shit songs, because you'll have made enough mistakes that you'll go, when you listen to it 6 months or a year later, you'll go, oh, why did I do that? You know, you learn as you go. So the thing is,
Right.
write, just write, play, read everything, suck in everything, you know, do all the stuff, you know, go to all the
Right.
orgies, get your heart broken, you know, do all the things, walk in the woods, find the things that come into you and inspire you, um, and you know, and try to and emulate the people that really get you going, and emulate them enough so that you get that shit out of your system. So, you know,
Hmm.
it's like, what do I tell people? It's really easy to sound like Carlos Santana, right? He's one of my favorite players in the world, who comes from this incredible place and is such a unique sound, you know. And I mean, getting a good guitar sound like Carlos Santana, now that's all bottled up in software, or, you know, if you know how to manipulate a amplifier, you can sound like Carlos Carlos Santana's guitar, and you
Hmm.
do stuff like that, and you can work your ass off to make that sound incredible, just like Carlos Santana. And what everybody is going to say is, "Wow, that sounds like Carlos Santana," right? So, um, so you gotta play enough stuff of the people that you emulate, that
Hmm.
you have the, you know, the classic dialectic, where the stuff comes together, and all this element, it's weird, I'm watching myself, this element over here is your interesting inspirational thing, and this element over here is, you know, the roots that you're pulling out of, and you bring them together and they explode, and
Right.
out of that comes something that is different
Unique to
enough
you.
to be
Yeah.
your voice, right? And you got to do that 100 times, 1,000 times, before you really find your voice. You know, I don't think I really found my voice until I was 30. And I've been playing music since I was 15, playing guitar since I was 13. So it's
Right.
really just a question of, you got to put in the 10,000 hours, or the 100 songs, or the time to learn. You know, if you want to learn, I wanted to. My favorite Beatle was always George Martin. I wanted
Hmm.
to I wanted to write stuff and orchestrate stuff. Um, and again, there it goes to Bone Poets Orchestra. I mean, for me, the orchestra part is a joke, because the high end, we're 11 people, often 8, and mostly it's just Sue and I. So so we're Bone Poets Orchestra. But I always love the prog thing. I love the Moody Blues, you know, where there were these great orchestral movements that
Hmm.
they did, and so I get to do a little bit of that with the string trio and the band, um, and and I have orchestral pieces. The album that I'm working on now is, you know, I decided that I would just go for as big as I wanted to go, because COVID destroyed everything, and
Yep.
if it
Unfortunately.
doesn't happen, then it won't happen anyway. And if it does happen, then I've got this big thing I've done. So the newest record has several orchestral openings, and, you know, that's, if you think an 8-piece band is, you know, is a money hole,
Hmm. Now,
you know, orchestras.
right. Do you know if festival season can be taking place out your way this year?
What's taking place?
If Do you know if festival season will be taking place out in your area this year?
I have no idea. I've been out of touch with that for a while, um, and, you know, the Northwest. It's we're known as the Great Northwest. Um,
Yep.
we usually September. You get about 4 weeks from the end of August to the almost the end of September, where you have sunny, dry days. Um, my feast of St. Crispy happens. My birthday in Washington State is statistically usually dry. It's like the one day of the year that you can almost bet that it's going to be dry. But everything else, you're just out of luck. You just got to roll with it. So festivals they're an interesting challenge due to the weather. There's still tons of them, but
Oh
but I don't know if anybody's doing anything. It would surprise me that there'll be anything that's going to happen that actually gets people to it this summer, but maybe next summer.
Have you thought about doing the online concert thing that a few others are doing?
Oh yeah, we were trying that for a while, and I was not really psyched about the quality of what was coming across, and it's hard to do with just Sue and I when we're here at home. And we did a couple where we got Jay and Larry, the keyboardist and the violinist, up, and that was nice. But it was when we thought that COVID was going to go away from the vaccines, and we got some help with that, and it was a little better. But it's another technical learning curve, and it's like we have, because it's affordable, we all have to be able to do all the stuff.
Right.
So I've been in studios for 40 years, and now I even studied a little bit of recording stuff in college, but now I'm kind of ramping up so I can do more parts at home, because there's so many changes in the way the music industry is working. Production studios are absolutely a losing money thing. You can't feed people. You
Right.
watch, like, I don't know if you watch a guy named Rick Beato. He does a thing called Everything Music, and he teaches theory, and he's made a whole lot of friends as a producer over the years, and so he calls up his friend Seal, and he analyzes the solo tracks on the tracks. It's really fun stuff, and he also teaches theory, monster theory teacher, and he's got this wonderful production studio down in Georgia, and when Billie Eilish can write a song made of samples in her bedroom on a laptop and a good mic for say total of $5,000 worth of gear on the high end, that puts people like me and the wonderful professionals I play with right out of business. Right? And you can't charge, and so the hourly rate goes down and down, because why should I pay $125 when I can get the same result for $50 per hour, right? And suddenly the samples have taken over from the pros, and you quantize everything on the computer, and you don't have those kind of jam band things. And so it's less and less of the real bands get out there, and bless them for the ones that are pulling it off. Because man, when you go out to see a real band like that, it keeps you on the edge of your seat. But that's not what's driving music.
Yeah,
So.
I can understand that. 'Cause for the longest time, one of my, well, I guess I could say one of my goals was to to actually build up a recording studio and the radio station, and have the recording studio available for uh, everyone in the pagan community to utilize, and not really charge the high rate that they would have to pay at regular recording studios, to give them a little bit of a break, since how most of them uh, are in the same position, trying to really make a go of this when basically they're not getting paid as much. So that's one reason why I wanted to form that.
Right. But the people that can function in that environment, that's not a 3-month learning curve to be able to produce a record or engineer a record. Those guys study for years and work at it for years.
Yep.
And so we use the musician community. The big joke in the community is, if you think we're overcharging for our wedding band, call your local plumber and ask him what it would cost to get 8 plumbers to come in for 2 days and bring their tools and materials, and do basic plumbing around your place for say 8 hours solid, and then get back to me about it. We'll charge you half that.
Yeah.
So it's the finance and music thing is, we can bitch about it for years. It's never, but it basically has gotten crazy to do the kind of thing that I do well, and the people of my era do well. That's life. That's that's the way it works. The flip side of it is that people are somehow managing to do it. So there must be a way, But the big production studios, those are, you can just look in the phone book and they're going away.
Yeah.
That's true. Let's get over to, we're going to play a video for everybody. The one I've got here is your Secret Voices, which is, I think, your latest release.
No, it's 20 years ago.
Oh, that one is? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Secret Voices I just found it in I've been doing archiving and finding our videos.
Gotcha.
And I think that version of Secret Voices is from 2004, and the record that we put out was Secret Voices. It's a title tune, and we put it out in 2001.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, understand.
Yeah.
It's good. Let's do it.
What was the story behind this one?
What much of a story behind that? I used to love this Goethe quote that says, "The earth has music for those who listen." And so it kind of comes out from that idea. You listen to the world around you, and listen to those, like any good musician will tell you, listen to the spaces between the sounds. So that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, play it.
All right, let's get this on the show, on the road here. This is Secret Voices.
Hey, listen, behind the rattling rumble of diesel fuel. Hey, listen, beneath the concrete auto-roaded tunes, everything is saying something. Can you hear it too? Hey, listen. Hey, listen, there's a rhythm in the silence between the words I speak. Hey, listen, the gravel makes small thunder beneath your feet. Everything is screaming something. Can you hear it come? When you're waking from a dream in the middle of the night, hearing whispers in the darkness and you bolt up quick. Cause you think you've heard a message and you're not really sure if it's true. What do they say? Yeah. What do they say? Your secret voice is coming through. Hey, listen. Behind the streetlight smiles a silent moon. Hey, listen. Beneath the siren swallows cry at noon. Everything is singing something. Can you hear the tune? Then you're waking from a dream in the middle of the night, hearing whispers in the darkness and you bolt upright. 'Cause you think you've heard a message and you're not really sure if it's true. What do they say? Yeah. What do they say to you? Your secret voice is coming through. What do they say? What do they say? What are they? 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 What do they say to you? What do they say to you? Your secret voice is coming through. All right.
Oh, that was Secret Voices. And I'll tell you what, I have been listening to that. Even though that's one of your older ones, I still love it.
Well,
Great.
it's the thing. Every song is new to somebody until they've heard it. You know, I mean that's so it's you know, and that was 2008, not 2004. It was on the vid, and yeah, that was a hoot. That was a blast.
Now, where was that at?
That was at it was either at Maidenbauer Center in Bellevue, or it might have been at the Shoreline Theater, but I can't remember. I think it might have been Maidenbauer though. Yeah, that's you know, it's on the it may be on the YouTube page that it's loaded up on. I can't remember it now.
Yep. Yep. That's it. Let's see. Yeah, it didn't really tell me exactly where it was at, but yeah, I knew it had to have been at a local venue.
Yeah, it's either Shoreline Theater or Maidenbauer Center here in the outlying suburbs of Seattle.
I'll tell you what. I know that you've got videos up on both Gaia Consort and also Bone Poets.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've been going back through and really listening to a lot of it, and yeah, music to me is just fantastic. And I'm really hoping that things pick up to where you can get back into getting into some local venues and also hopefully festivals as well, so that people can still be able to see you guys live.
Yeah, that's the hope. You know, I just a couple of weeks before COVID hit, I had a stroke in December of 2019, December 14th. So I was just about ready to start getting back into things in March, and then COVID came, March of 2020. You know, so it's been a little bit challenging, but and everything changed from COVID. Anyway, that's the scoop.
Well,
Hopefully we can help get things taken off again.
That'd be great. That'd be great. We'd love to. And I'm in the middle of writing the next record, and it'll be. I hope it'll be interesting and listenable and catch people a little bit. I think it's going to be the events of the last couple of years have, I think everybody's kind of looking inward,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm hoping when it gets a little bit under control, um, we can start having house concerts again and rebuild. I think people are a little hungry for it, and I
Yeah.
certainly am. And
People
Really am, yeah. Just being present when a band is playing, there's something lost when it's all studio work, you know?
yeah, when it's all screened, we've always
Yeah.
been seeing it screens way too much. We need to get in and breathe each other's air and exchange molecules and understand.
Feel the vibration of the strings moving the air around you.
Exactly, it really
Yeah,
does.
you gotta have that.
Difference, and it'll happen. I mean, we survived the Spanish flu, and this thing will play its course out. I don't think we're going to be buried in it forever, But I want to be able to put a house concert together and do it responsibly and not be afraid that my friends are going to die because they can't see me play.
Right.
And we have an older audience. The audience has aged with us. Their kids have come along with us, and their kids are all having kids now. And it's kind of like, but wait, you were like 8 years old last time I saw you, and now you've got a kid. So, it's just the way of it. So yeah, that's the plan. Is that we hope that when we can do it responsibly, we'll start doing house concerts again, and whatever players are left. Everybody's, not everybody, but a lot of the players we're all hungry to do work, but people have had to move on into other things. So our drummer is now bouncing between Spokane and Seattle, and he's not so available. And Tella's found that she was having more fun playing music with her family, and that's really important to her. So she's bailed on us, but Tella's are pretty confinement. You can also play a lot of their parts on keys. So we're kind of since Jay does about half of the solos, or a third of the solos, kind of leaning toward having Jay come in and play keyboards instead of having a cello for the string trio. So yeah, that's the scoop.
Well, I think what we can at least try to help do for you is to. I'm going to create a new section on the website to be able to promote bands and their music, so that way you have another outlet for your music to be heard. So that's going to be something I'm going to work on here for everybody.
That's great. Yeah, link to the Bone Poets page, bonepoets.com, GaiaConsort.com. We have a store. I think it's Square Up at Bone Poets or something like that, or Square.com Bone Poets. We're living on donations. Basically, we've moved into the tip jar version of the economy. So we put the stuff out. Nobody's buying the silver discs anymore because everybody's streaming. So, we just basically you can download our stuff for free and donate what you want. And, it's the same thing on our sign, suggested donation $20, more if you can, less if you can't. No one turned away for lack of funds. And
that's what a lot of artists are doing these days, especially through Bandcamp. And they have all their music, at least they're through Bandcamp. They can still make some money off of whether you download the entire album or download each song. The artist can still make something from it.
Well, yeah, I mean, and you can do that at our website too. There are donation buttons on all our websites, and you don't need to go through Bandcamp or Spotify or any of the any of the services. Just goes straight to the thing and straight to us, and it all gets to us instead of everybody taking a cut in the middle, which is
True. That's
I
true.
learned anything if I've learned anything in 60 years, I've learned that if you want to make money, be a middleman.
Yeah.
And if you want to make something good, don't worry about making money.
Right. Okay, I want to say hello to Jennifer Norton, who's joining us. Jennifer is Ed's aunt.
Is who?
As my friend Edward, who has also been listening in on us tonight, he formed Pagan Rights Coalition that we are a part of as well. And Jennifer Jennifer Norton is his aunt, so she's joining in tonight.
Okay. I don't know what's going on in the background here, but it's kind of making it hard sometimes to hear what you're saying.
Okay. Well, yeah, we have. Jennifer Norton is actually my friend Edward's aunt, who is joining us, and she is also. She loves what we're doing here, and it's good to be able to have someone else join in and enjoy the music. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to be working on another section of our website so that I can really help musicians with their music and get it out there so that people can really start buying up their albums again and just help support you guys.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
We need all the support we can get. Basically, every part that goes onto a record costs about $200. So that's every line, every little line on the tape costs about at least $200, sometimes $400.
Wow.
So you got 24 to 38 tracks.
Yeah, that adds up. That adds up quick.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so we got Bone Poets Orchestra, or bonepoets.com.
Yep.
And let's see. I think Bone Poets is also on Facebook as well, is it?
Yep. Bone Poets and Gaia Consort. We're all over the place. Facebook. I sometimes do Twitter, though I try to. I do it because I have to. But we're on all of the streaming services. I have websites that I maintain for both of the bands, bonepoets.com and GaiaConsort.com. And there's ChristopherBingham.com as well. And Facebook, Twitter, what's the other one? Instagram. I think I've done 3 or 4 things on Instagram. Social media, it's killing us. It's the way we get to people, but it's not healthy. But,
yeah, I understand that. Like you said, hopefully we'll get back to a point where everybody can get back out to playing live in front of everybody and get back to doing what everybody loves.
I agree. Hope so.
We might need to pull together Ed or Earl and do a pagan concert of our own, where we just pull in everybody that we've done interviews with and just let them go.
Yeah.
Or even just pull in all the videos. Just do the videos.
That too is true, and then that way we can play the videos, send them over to your website, and that way you guys can benefit from it.
Yeah, that'd be great. We'd love that.
We'll put something together. We've got a lot. We've got a lot that's just starting to heal and come together. We've got announcements coming up that we aren't even aware of. Yeah, we've got stuff coming. So
great.
Yeah, because that's the whole point of why I started doing this, is to work with all of our musicians, singer-songwriters, and bands to help promote them and get you out in front of everybody. That's the entire focus here.
That's great. That's what we need. It's not going to happen if people don't get involved.
Right, that's true.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
All right, everyone. we've been visiting here with Christopher Bingham from Gaia Consort and Bone Poet. And you also had a chance to listen to one of their videos. Be sure to check them out on YouTube. Also, go to their website and download their music directly and to help support them so they can get back to doing what they love doing. Um, and you can communicate with Christopher through his Facebook or the Facebook page for Bone Poets or even Gaia Consort. And then, as always, you can contact us directly at iwapagannews@gmail or Earl at iapnradio.net. And I'm also going to be posting up Christie's. And that way you can contact Christy directly
Hit me up.
through Christy at ChristyManAuthor.com. And she is a published author. So I'm very happy to have her as a part of the team here. So as always, please keep everyone safe around you. For those of us here in the Midwest, it looks like we're actually going to have rain coming through here. The, the temperature drop is going to be nothing but an ice skating rink.
I grew up in St. Louis. I remember that well.
Yeah, I was just say we've been in like the teens and 20s, and we get up into 30s, and now we're going to have rain. But then my guess is the temperature is going to plummet again, and we're going to have nothing but an ice skating rink.
Yep.
We're 45 degrees in Utah right now, so it's past us.
Celebrate winter.
All right, Chris.
All right.
Thank you for joining us tonight. This has been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
We will definitely keep in contact and let you know what we can do on our end to help you guys.
That's great. Thank you so much, and enjoy, and just go to the websites and listen to the stuff. That's what matters. So take care.
All right.
Good night.
Have a good night, everyone. Pleasant journeys.